Chinese media have reported that Tesla is about to reduce the price of the Model Y and the Model 3 by insane figures. I mean, absolutely enormous numbers. Model Y, for example, the new price will reportedly be between 39 to 40,000 US dollars. Seriously. Model 3, well, even crazier. Why are they doing it? Or are they actually really going to do it? Well, here are my 2 cents. Here's what I think will in fact play out. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers and welcome back everyone else. Thank you for tuning in. Great to see you. This is actually a really interesting story. I am intrigued by what's about to happen in China because it could be an interesting moment in history. Why do I say that? Well, have a look at what the Chinese media are saying. They're saying that Tesla orders are, well, not collapsing, but they're going down significantly. Why? Well, there's an enormous number of competitors in China. Now, we've been saying this on this channel now for more than a year, that there's a huge amount of competition in China for EVs. And the problem is, right, basically none of Tesla's competitors make a profit. None of them do. Literally none of them that I'm aware of, except BYD, who make about $1,000 per car, which is a pretty small figure, right? Bit less than 2% margin. BYD is aggressively expanding, so you can kind of see here what their plan is, and it's a good strategy. I like BYD's strategy. The strategy for other car makers is just to hope. Sorry, but it's true. NIO, XPeng, a lot of competition, right, in this startup space. They're hoping that they can hold on long enough, their cash doesn't run out, and they can stay in business, and a lot of the other kind of new competitors will eventually die or be forced to raise prices. That is the current situation in China. It's incredibly cutthroat because so many manufacturers are willing to sell at a loss to try and gain market share. I mean, for example, NIO and XPeng, they're the two most well-known startup electric vehicle companies. I mean, they're known all over the world, trade on the US stock exchange, haven't made a profit for a single quarter for the last 4 years. So you can see what the Chinese automakers are willing to do. They're willing to sell at incredibly low prices. You can get EVs in China that are staggeringly cheap. Here's one example, right? BYD Atto 3. You can buy them here in Australia for the longer range version for around 50,000 Australian dollars. In Europe, 39,000 euros, around 40,000 US dollars in Europe. In China, that same model is 22,000 US dollars. You can see what's happening here. Market share is being gained or lost. But the truth is, when it comes down to it, the real disruption is happening here. Really, the biggest disruption is all these electric manufacturers. They are competing. They're taking sales from each other. That is true. But predominantly, they are taking sales away from Toyota, from Honda, from Ford, from GM, from their gasoline-powered vehicle sales. In particular as well, from companies like Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes, and BMW. These companies are disrupting not only themselves, not only their own competitors in the EV space, but more so predominantly gasoline-powered vehicle sellers. Chinese car market has doubled again in terms of its electric vehicle size. Well, nearly doubled this year. Right now, nearly 30% of all cars sold in China are fully electric. And Tesla is poised. I mean, they're in a really good position here, but it is true. The numbers are correct. Chinese media have said about half as many people are going into Tesla stores now as what they were 6 months ago. And truthfully, let's be objective here. I do promote Tesla big time. I own Tesla stock, but I've got to call it like I see it and be honest. I do think there's so many competitors that are willing to sell at a loss that Tesla are going to have to reduce their prices, and therefore I believe these reports are correct. Tesla have already begun to offer promotions. The promotions are $1,200 US dollars off the cost of insurance. Tesla are basically giving the average consumer around 1 or 2 years free insurance right now. That is an incentive to get them to buy a Model Y or a Model 3. But they're going beyond that. They are reducing production. Now, when I say reducing, I mean technically they're not reducing, but technically they are. It depends on how you look at it. But the truth is, Tesla is limiting production. They've never done that at a factory ever before that I'm aware of. Let me know if I'm wrong on that in the comments, but I don't believe they've ever done that. They have a production capacity of more than around 23,000 or just over 23,000 electric vehicles from the factory in Shanghai. However, they are limiting production capacity to about 95%. Why would they do that? Because think about the demand they have here in Australia, right? We've got an order backlog of a year for many models, right? Many other countries, the same thing. But the reality is Tesla's aware of the competition in China. They're aware that the demand for their vehicles in China isn't maybe enough to support 1.2 million, or at least, half of that, 600,000 vehicles per year, unless the prices come down a bit. Now, these new prices from Tesla, if they are correct, they're being reported by the media right now that they're bringing down the price of the Model 3 and the Model Y by $6,000 per car. Now, they were already cheap. They were already some of the cheapest Tesla's prices in the world, much cheaper than in the United States. Bringing them down by $6,000 makes them, frankly, cheaper than gas-powered competitors. There is no question. Tell me another gasoline-powered car similar to the Model 3 in terms of performance and luxury and features. I know a lot of you claim it's not luxury, but I obviously strongly disagree with you because technology and driving experience, in my view, are the biggest dictators of luxury. But anyhow, name me another car that costs $33,000 that is similar to a Tesla Model 3. $33,000. This is a bargain. Is it true that Tesla are bringing the cost of both these models down by $6,000? We don't know for sure because the Chinese media are reporting it. We don't know if this is 100% correct, but I think the price is definitely coming down. In fact, it's a certainty the price is coming down. The only question is by how much? Is it going to be $6,000 per model? So what will this make the prices of both the Model 3 and the Model Y? Let's have a quick look. The approximate price of the Model Y base model will be between 270 to 290,000 RMB, depending on how much Tesla cut the price. That's what Chinese media is saying. The new price will be 270 to 290,000 RMB. So what is that in US dollars? 270,000 RMB is $37,900. I mean, this is hard to believe Tesla would do that. $37,900. Imagine how many they'll sell at that price. That is mental. The higher end, 290,000 RMB, equates to $40,700. In other words, Tesla are bringing down the price of the Model Y to, at worst, $40,700. At best, well, around $38,000. What about Model 3 prices? The Model 3 currently sells for 280,000 RMB in China. That's $39,000. You can get them cheaper than that depending on which state you're in, because there's other subsidies that go on top of that. But $39,000 for the Model 3 already. I mean, people are not really assessing the fact that Tesla's already selling this car very, very cheaply. Chinese media are saying that Tesla are going to bring the price down of the base Model 3 by $5,600. That's 40,000 RMB. That means the new price of the Model 3 will be $33,700. There you go. That's a fair bit less than $35,000. Now, if they do that, $33,700, I think Tesla could sell production, maybe sell 6 months worth of production in about a week. That price is insane. I think you're going to find that buyers are going to be rushing through the doors at Tesla. I mean, imagine if they did this in the US, right? Imagine if these cars were priced at this rate in the United States. I think Tesla would sell 10 years worth of production, seriously. But of course, it's not the US, it's China. There's a lot more competition. However, these prices are still incredibly good. And the truth is that in China, Tesla is most undoubtedly perceived as a premium automotive brand. And it's more desirable for most people in China based on the surveys that I've seen, not this anecdotal nonsense I see in forums where people say, oh, my opinion is this. I know this because my friend Joe said blah, blah, blah. That's nonsense. Surveys where it's at. You can see the opinions of 40,000, 50,000 people. They've done big surveys in China. And for most people, Tesla is considered a more desirable brand than BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. So they do have a big name in China. They're seen as the future. I mean, I keep coming back to it, but the truth is, if this thing was branded a Mercedes, would that make it more desirable? Maybe a tiny bit, but not much. It's still old. It's still the old school. It's still old technology. And the truth is, Mercedes, BMW, and Audi, they sell old product. Majority of vehicles they sell, by far, more than 90% of what they sell in China isn't electric. And that's what the Chinese want. New price of the Tesla Model 3 Performance in China is said to be 47,000 US dollars, which is 337,000 RMB. I find this one hard to believe. I don't know that I would agree with this. I think more than likely this won't happen. They'll probably reduce the price, but I don't think they'll reduce it by the 40,000 RMB the Chinese media are claiming. I just don't think Tesla needs to sell the performance model in massive numbers. So I think that's unlikely, but who knows? That's what the media is saying. 47,000 US dollars for the Model 3 Performance, which is a performance car bargain. Remember, keep in mind, this thing actually beats the BMW M2 around a racetrack. I mean, Top Gear tested them, and it easily beat the M2 around a racetrack. So it's a legit performance car. 47,000 US dollars for a legit electric performance car seems like an incredible bargain to me. What about the Model Y Performance? The Model Y Performance right now costs 55,500 US dollars in China. I mean, that's cheaper. That's significantly cheaper than the Model Y Performance in the US. It's a lot cheaper, 55,500. So if they reduce the price by the 5,600 the media are quoting, that would bring it just under 50,000 US dollars. Model Y long range, of course, would be discounted too. Now, to give you guys an idea on current Tesla vehicle sales, from January to August of this year, Tesla sold 172,000 Model Ys. Of course, the factory in Shanghai was shut down for a month. Those figures would be quite a lot higher if that hadn't have happened. However, that did mean Tesla took first place in China in the best-selling premium SUV segment. Premium SUVs, I mean, it wasn't really even close. Second place was Mercedes-Benz GLC with 101,000 sales. So Tesla sold 71,000 more vehicles than Mercedes did of the GLC models. Third place was the Audi Q5 with 99,000. But the next Chinese competitor was the Li Auto Li 1. They sold 76,000 of those. And then you've got the NIO ES6. NIO sold 32,900 ES6s. So Chinese media say that the average number of visitors to Tesla stores has dropped by 50% compared to April and May this year, from 30 to 35 groups per day to 15 to 17 groups per day. Here's what the founder of local car consumer platform Che Fans is saying. Local Chinese brands are growing too fast and putting Tesla up against a wall. Now, Tesla, for the record, is saying that these rumors, these reports from Chinese media are false. Don't believe it. It's not true. But to be honest, Tesla have done this for a number of other Chinese media reports, which have ended up being true. I mean, for example, Tesla said this about their deal with BYD. They denied it. But eventually, it was proven to be true. Will it prove to be true in this case? Well, who knows? But I think it will more than likely with the base model versions. Since Tesla first shortened the wait time for the Model 3 in China on the 7th of June of this year, Tesla has shortened the expected delivery times for its models in China 4 times in a row, with wait times for all models now starting at only 1 week or less, because some cars you can get in inventory stock. Tesla's done the same thing with a number of other countries outside of China that receive Chinese-made vehicles. Wait times have come down significantly. Obviously, the continued shortening of expected delivery times and the latest insurance offer, so in other words, discount, is clearly related to the huge increase in capacity at Tesla's Shanghai plant. I mean, the fact they've just increased capacity by about 40% is clearly related to what's happening here. But remember, so is the fact that Tesla's cars are expensive. I mean, they're not cheap, they're not expensive, but there's premium priced cars. And realistically, that segment is only so big. Eventually, of course, this situation had to happen, and we all predicted it would, but we all knew that Tesla's margins are so big that they can easily reduce prices by big numbers and still make more profit than their competition, a lot more profit. Tesla's profits in China are astronomical. People don't realize their profits in China are close to 35% per car. I reported the numbers, the actual numbers recently. I'll put a link in the description below to Tesla's profit per car in China. It's worth checking that out because remember, their competition are not making a profit. except BYD, small profit. But Tesla's profits are massive. So they do have the elasticity here. They do have the ability to reduce the prices, still make a profit, and actually have a huge spike in sales. Now, that's what I think is going to happen. Let me know what you think will happen. Let me know if you think Tesla's going to reduce the prices by these reported numbers. The numbers are pretty big, aren't they? But let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.